Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring, where we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. Once gyms start growing their nutrition programs, a common question we get is how to set up partnerships. Partnerships are awesome. They expand brand awareness, and I'm excited to have today's guest on our show. Today we have Danny Lear. He is the founder of CrossFit Excel, but he is also the founder of Caffeine and Kilos. He has built an amazing brand and a loyal tribe at Caffeine and Kilos. Today we talk about building your brand and setting up partnerships. At one point he said, your net worth is your network. I couldn't agree with this more. As a gym owner and nutrition coach, you are in the relationship business. And to retain your clients, you need to ensure they feel heard and valued. We also have a super exciting surprise, which we talk about in this episode. Enjoy. Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. Today we have Danny Lear here, the founder of Caffeine and Kilos. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
I am so excited to have you on. We met a few months back at the Winter Classic in Ohio. Randomly, we're waiting outside. It was freezing cold. And we started talking and you shared your story about Caffeine and Kilos with me. And I thought it was so inspiring. And we're actually doing some fun stuff with you guys now. But tell me a little bit about that story. Like, you started as a gym owner and then ended up starting Caffeine and Kilos at the same time. Bring me back.
Right. So it was 2013. And I was teaching PE and then also owned a gym, a CrossFit affiliate, CrossFit Excel. It's out in California, in Manteca. So I owned the gym and I was teaching PE, and a friend of mine who also owned a gym, a CrossFit gym, calls me and he wants to host a competition. He said, hey, I want to get a weightlifting meet going and I want to get the best lifters in the country. And I think that this is something you would like to be involved in, and kind of how do we do this? And that was the original thought, was just to get a bunch of weightlifters from around the country to come and compete, and then to get a bunch of CrossFitters out there and maybe do a CrossFit competition as well, and kind of bring the community together. And so at that time I was competing in weightlifting and had a bunch of friends that were kind of the best lifters in the nation. So I called to my friends, we put out a cash prize, and then we had a big CrossFit event as well. And we had huge support from the local community. A bunch of teams signed up, came out there. And then we kind of realized that we were onto something, that people really liked that kind of community involvement and getting together and bringing kind of the different areas of weightlifting and CrossFit and everything together. And then kind of at the same time, we were talking about how, everyone we know that works out and lifts weights, drinks coffee, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he had kind of made this shirt. He was going to make like 3 of them or whatever, right? And just said, my life. And I had a guy lifting weights and a mug of coffee.
Okay.
And so then there's this huge response to that, right? It was supposed to be just like he was going to make one for himself. It's like, anybody else want one? And massive feedback. All his friends are like, I want one. And this whole thing. And so, okay, maybe we're onto something there. And then we kind of realized those two ideas, it was actually the same idea, right?
Absolutely.
The idea of caffeine and kilos, coffee and lifts and weights, getting fired up and attacking the day type thing. And that's what it's all about, is that kind of community of bringing people together and just spreading the message of a healthy, active lifestyle.
That's amazing. And what's really cool is you guys have built such a brand and a community around Caffeine and Kilos, and it's just exponentially growing over the years, right?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We liked it and thought we were onto something, but originally it was going to be this one event, and then we said, okay, we should make people like this idea for the shirts. We should make these shirts and sell them at the event. You know what? Let's actually sell them ahead of time too, because maybe some people want them. And then, we should make our own coffee. If we're going to say Caffeine and Kilos, and the idea is to be a true lifestyle brand, not just a t-shirt company that says the word lifestyle. And we should make our own coffee and some other products, And so we started looking into that and got that going and kind of launched the coffee and the apparel about a month before the actual event, and everything, it just kind of took off. Like it was crazy how quickly everything just right out the gates.
So you guys were selling this coffee before the first event and
Yep.
the shirts, and then you
Yep.
continued to sell the coffee and the shirts after that event, or did you kind of do like an equal thing for the first year or two?
No, everything took off. It was nuts. We started making online sales before the event started.
Okay.
And then we realized that the original plan was to host this competition, but that really there was a lot more to this, And so then we actually, formed an official partnership and made it a real business. And it kind of, we ended up, launching the company. So that initial event ended up being basically a launch party for the business.
That is really cool. Okay. And you guys are still doing those events today, correct? Every year, the annual competition still happens.
Yeah. So we celebrate the first one a couple ways. So we actually it was September 15th of 2013. And so that is now, we call it C&K Day. It's National Caffeine and Kilos Day. So,
okay.
So we celebrate C&K Day. We run out. It's like one of the few. We don't really do a lot of sales and stuff, but that's one day. It's kind of like our Amazon Prime Day, whatever,
Okay.
So we do some specials for it. And it's talk about it. It's fun. And then every year, either September or early October, we have the Caffeine and Kilos Invitational. And we've added to it a little bit. So it's still, there's a weightlifting meet, but now it's during the day. It's a local meet. So lots of people come out and compete. And then there's one invite only session at the end that has the big cash prizes. And then there's a CrossFit style competition all day long. And we do teams of 4, and we always get at least about around 50 teams or so out for that. And then we have a powerlifting meet. Also, it's just a pool only deadlift meet. So we get a bunch of the local powerlifters out, and it's fun. So we kind of just right in downtown Sacramento now, and everyone comes out there. It's really cool. It's actually one of my favorite days of the year is the invite day.
That's awesome. It's cool that you guys still do the team competition. I mean, you guys were all about the community to start with, and it's just continued to build. And building your brand is such a big undertaking for most people, especially if you didn't go to school for branding, right?
No.
You learn by trial and error, right?
Yeah, I went to school to teach people how to squat and stuff, so it's a little different.
Tell me a little bit about kind of what you learned as far as growing the brand for Caffeine and Kilos.
So I mean, it never ends, right? Like hopefully you never stop trying to learn how to get better and everything. But the biggest thing is relationships. And It's funny, it's like the age old thing. How many times you hear people say like, your network is your net worth, whatever. And more, I just find that to be true. And it's funny, every time I feel like I get away from that I get away from building new connections, or I get away from reaching out to people because things get busy, things start to slip. And then when I start reaching out to my friends more and I start building new connections, things always start to get better, And it's just really important. So I think staying top of mind with people, keeping touch with old friends. It's so easy to lose connection with people who you're close with too. It's not like you met someone once, but someone who you've talked to multiple times, but then things happen. I mean, look, I got 2 kids, 2 young children, and a wife and a gym and Caffeine and Kilos, and there's a lot going on. So it's really easy to kind of let some relationships slip. But that's never good. So it's important just to kind of stay on top of that. And, everyone at some point you're driving somewhere, and with Bluetooth and everything now, make a call someone you haven't talked to in a couple months, or next time you think about somebody, because people just pop up, in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to reach out. Like, just send them a text like, hey man, just thinking about you, which kind of feels weird when you send it, but I've never had anybody reply to that anything weird. They're always like, oh, it's great to hear from you. What's going on?
Absolutely. You said something that I think is really important. Your network is your net worth. And that is so true, right? Like relationships and connections is the best way to build your brand and build a tribe that really wants to continue to follow you. I mean, you guys have so many repeat customers, right? Every time you guys release a new shirt or a new coffee, like people come back because they believe in the brand, they believe in the mission that you guys are doing, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's a big part of it is obviously you want to reach and expand everything and get out to new people and bring up new people into the fold and all that. But a big part of Caffeine and Kilos is that loyal fan base, and I don't know exactly what the numbers are for other companies that are similar to ours, but I can tell you that for us, like our repeat purchaser is very common, or a high percentage of our sales is repeat purchasers. People coming back. You treat people the right way, and also you have something they believe in. They believe in fitness, they believe in that healthy, active lifestyle. They like what we do. And so it's always really nice to have that. And it's funny, sometimes I'll just be looking through orders on the website and you definitely recognize names. You're like, you see a name, you're like, oh yeah, that guy has bought from us probably 20 times, or more. And so it's kind of cool to kind of have that relationship with the customer as well. So sometimes I'll even send a text, like I don't do this real often, but I'll see a name I recognize and I've never met this person. I just know that I've seen their name come through, and I click and I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Look, they've made 15 orders. And so I have their number. I'll just send them a text personally, kind of like, hey, this is Danny from Caffeine and Kilos. Just wanted to say thanks for the support. I hope you really like those socks.
That's huge, right? Like coming from the owner, I mean, relationships is the best way to continue to grow your business. With nutrition coaching, I would say relationships is over 90% of it, right? Like you build people Absolutely. That trust you and want to be around you and want to buy your services. One of the cool things that you guys do is to help with repeat customers is more of a subscription-based model, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been big, and it's fun because people really like it. And so for a long time, we had subscriptions to coffee, but you would just get the same blend, every month. And people like that because of convenience, right? Like you don't have to worry about running out and all that, which is great. But then we launched last year, at the middle of last year, a coffee of the month. And that has just taken off. People love it because every month, not only you get coffee coming at you every month, which is good, right? It's going to be good coffee, high quality, all that. But then also it's something different. And so you don't have to worry about, getting too many bags of the same kind or getting tired of the same blend. You get a different blend every month, and it allows us to do some cool things with those blends. So for example, this month we're in January. I'm not sure when exactly it's going to be released, but the January coffee of the month is a Brazilian blend, which is actually a women's blend. So 90% of the blend is from this small micro lot in Brazil that is cultivated, grown, harvested by women, and they actually get paid 85% higher than what the local average is for wages.
Wow.
And so it increases their total household income, by a large percentage compared to the local population. And it's just like that type of thing is really cool. And we're able to do that through the coffee of the month. If we were just to release that as a regular blend, like, I don't know if that would make sense for us, but to have it as a coffee of the month is really cool. So then subscribers too, they get this one. It's called the Reina de Rojo, which means like the Queen of Rio, because little ode to the Rio Olympics, and then the Queen because the women growing and cultivating and harvesting the blend. So anyway, it's just kind of cool. And the coffee of the month is what kind of allowed us to do that.
That's awesome. And now you're supporting a better cause, right? It's something bigger than your brand, the people that are drinking the coffee, and it's impacting people over the world essentially.
Right. So yeah, you make an impact in, for women in Brazil, and all of that. And at the same time, kind of support fitness and that healthy lifestyle. So it's really kind of a cool thing. Yeah. Kind of get every angle,
Absolutely. No, going back to networking and, connecting with past clients and connecting with new people, making new connections, within the CrossFit industry, setting up partnerships is such a big thing to grow any business. And for the first 5 years of HSN mentoring, I didn't do advertising at all. We just started paid advertising this year. And
That's awesome.
part of it was the partnerships, right? Like building a network of people who trust you and believe in your vision and believe in what you guys are doing. Talk to me a little bit about what you look for in a partner and how you set up partnerships with Caffeine and Kilos and even with your gym too.
Right. Well, first of all is I am really big on loyalty. I think that's important. And I think that people know that and they sense that. And I think long term, you get more out of being loyal than just jumping around and burning bridges,
100%.
And it's funny, the whole golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated, except probably better, is definitely true. And so I think that's a big part of it. When you do reach out to somebody, or let's just start from the beginning. Say you have an idea. You're like, okay, I want to do some sort of a partnership.
Yep.
Maybe it's with your gym. And so maybe this partnership is with maybe there's a local company that delivers meals, something like that, right? So where do you start? Well, first you need to decide what do you want out of that relationship. And because you need to be honest when you go to them also. If you show up and you pitch them everything they want to hear, but you don't include anything that you want to get out of the deal, and then, a month later, when you're actually like this, getting all the details worked out, you don't want them to feel blindsided, like they came in for one thing and got the old bait and switch, right? So kind of figure out what exactly you want out of the deal long-term, right? A specific but long-term outcome that you want, and then how you think it would be mutually beneficial, how it would benefit them, and why you think it would be good. And then you just start with that. And it really is that simple. You just kind of approach them and say, hey, here's the deal. I own this facility. We currently don't have this service that you offer. I can see your service being a huge benefit to my clients. And here's what, how I think you could benefit us. And here's how I think you benefit you. Is this something you're interested in? And you know what? If they say no, then I think it's always good to have like a second option. Be like, okay, well, if now's not a good time for that, that's fine. Because most no's aren't no. They're either not now or not exactly like that, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe when they say no, they really just mean not now, or they mean not exactly in that format, right? So, okay, if now's not a good time, I understand. I would love to just have you do X. And the second thing, that X, if you get a no to the first one, is just something that 100% completely benefits them. They'd be silly to turn it down, and really you kind of get nothing out of it, right? So this example, you could be like, okay, well, I understand, now's not a good time for that or whatever, but I would just actually love to get as many of my clients over to your restaurant or to try your food, as possible. Is there any way, like, do you just have flyers or, some sort of coupon or offer that I can just give out to my customers with no strings attached,
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like leading with something that will benefit them and making sure they feel like it's going to be a true partnership and like you're not just trying to take advantage of them.
Absolutely. And I think, it's important that it's a win-win for both parties, right?
Absolutely.
I always tend to start with people that I know, especially locally with the gym, because, we have an HQ location too, and we partner with restaurants. It's actually happened to me recently. We went to a restaurant that my husband and I frequent once every 2 weeks, and we've gotten to know the GM a little bit, and I wanted to highlight some healthy dishes on their menu. I happened to ask him literally right before the holidays. It was not the best time, not a big deal. So he's like, hey, follow up with me after the holidays. So what did I do? Followed up with him. We have a meeting this week to sit down and get our logo on the menu. But, being flexible with your approach is definitely huge, and making sure that you're going with a help first mentality, right? Like, how can you help them build their business, but then them also help you as well, right?
Yeah, and that's really important because the other partner, the other person or company needs to have a benefit. I mean, you think about it yourself, because if not, maybe if at first they agree to something which isn't a huge benefit to them, but they're, they really like you, your friends, whatever, right? Well, then what happens, 6 months from now, if all of a sudden they are, something comes up and things happen in businesses, they have a down month or two and they're kind of struggling, and then they're looking over everything and they see that there's this, discount that your members are getting, or there's this thing and they have to print new menus, right? It comes time to print new menus. Are they going to put your logo on these new ones, or is that going to be inconvenient and all this? And those things fall apart. And I think that the goal isn't to create a partnership that helps you right now, but something that will, help you out in the future. So you want to make sure that they really feel the benefit from that. And for them, it should be a no-brainer, right? It comes time to print new
Absolutely.
menus. And like that should be one of the non-negotiables. Like we're definitely keeping on the chicken Parmesan, and I'll be damned if we take that HSN logo off, right?
Yep.
Like that should be it.
Yep. And that's what we've done with other restaurants in the past. And, it's funny because we started talking at the Ohio event, and I had been looking at, we give welcome boxes to every single new gym that signs up with our mentoring program. They get a welcome box, and there's a coffee mug in there and no coffee. And I've been searching for a coffee to put in there. We happen to be at the right place at the right time. We connected, we started working on this, partnership so that we can have Caffeine and Kilos and HSN coffee in the welcome boxes, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm excited about that too, because we did it. We kind of had some fun with it also. It wasn't just, let's just take one of our current blends and throw it in there. Is we created a coffee just for the HSN boxes.
I'm super pumped about it. Everyone loves coffee. I love coffee. I'm drinking it right now, and I'm going to have to order some more soon. But, it's just a great way to build brand awareness, right? Like going back to you guys with Caffeine and Kilos, right? You guys having your brand on shirts and different types of things. People are wearing it. Other people see it. They want to get involved too. You guys have your logo in our welcome boxes now, and we have Caffeine and Kilos coffee. And, I think when you're looking at setting up partnerships, how could you co-brand things together and build a mutual beneficial relationship for both parties, right?
Right. Absolutely. And like in this situation, it's a good example of, okay, so you guys want to include the coffee in there to benefit your customers, your new people who are new to the HSN family and going to start running the nutrition program. Yep. And so you want to make a good impression, but you also want to tie into what's familiar. Yep. And so instead of just putting a random bag of coffee in, it's like, well, what if you use Caffeine and Kilos coffee? Because the brand has good recognition within that space. And so the customer's going to get it. And it's not just some cheap bag of coffee that's thrown in there, but they see that and they go, oh, this is a Caffeine and Kilos blend. Like, this is legit. And then that, relates our brands. They see the HSN and Caffeine and Kilos. Obviously, we have a relationship and we're friends. And, you're not just someone who's trying to sell them services, but we're all part of the same community.
At the end of the day, we all have the same vision to help people live a healthier lifestyle. And there's lots of different ways to do that, right? But you guys have a lifestyle brand of promoting people to take control of their health and eat well and exercise, move more, and just have a really amazing support system around, because we all know that accountability and support is the biggest key to success.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, what else is going on at Caffeine and Kilos? Talk to me about, anything, brand partnerships. What are you guys up to now?
So right now, a few things is that I mentioned earlier, the coffee of the month. That's been huge. That's been a lot of fun, kind of having those different, every month, a different blend coming out. And then something else we just recently did as well is we had some feedback from a lot of our customers who like us, and they get the apparel and they love the lifestyle and the brand, but maybe they don't like coffee. Mm-hmm. And to me, that sounds kind of crazy. But hey, I get it, right? Like everybody has different, like I'm sure some people don't like don't like cheese. I don't know. So what we actually did is we were thinking about what we could do for them, because a big part of Caffeine and Kilos and the reason why we have the coffee and we like it, it's not just we love good coffee, but also, caffeine is the number one tested and proven kind of ergogenic aid, right? Like workout supplement. Yep. And so we just recently launched, it's called Clearly Caffeine. And Clearly Caffeine is a caffeine only pre-workout. And so it has like no artificial coloring in it. And it just has caffeine as the only stimulant. So it's just caffeine and natural flavors, right? Mm-hmm. And so for someone who maybe doesn't like the taste of coffee, but, maybe wants a little pre-workout or wants something, but they don't like the jitters from pre-workouts, or they know energy drinks have so much stuff in it that's just not good for you, right? Mm-hmm. And they're trying to avoid that. And so this is just kind of a way that someone could get it like nice, clean. The caffeine's from green tea, so it's all natural. Yep. And it's something else that someone could take and, use for a little energy boost, essentially, if they don't like coffee. But so sometimes we jokingly say like it's pre-workout without the bullshit,
Okay.
That's not an official tagline there, but it's it kind of gives you the full picture, right?
So how much caffeine is in one scoop of the Clearly caffeine?
150 milligrams. And
Just
so four,
go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
so four kind of, yeah, you're good. So just kind of where that places it. So a standard cup of coffee, like one cup of coffee, has about 90 to 100 milligrams of caffeine, right? And then a lot of pre-workouts have somewhere between 150 all the way up to like 300 milligrams of caffeine. Like Bang energy drinks have like 300 milligrams, which is absurd.
Oh my gosh, Bang.
Yeah, which is too much. This coming from the caffeine guy, I'm saying that's probably too much. So anyways, that's what's neat about it is 150 milligrams. So it's enough. You definitely notice, but it doesn't make you jittery. It doesn't make your skin crawl or feel weird or any of the stuff that you get from the other stimulants that are commonly in pre-workouts. And then also you kind of know how much is in there. So it's like, if you want a little bit more, you could do, a scoop and a half or something, right? Or if you could do half a scoop if you know that your tolerance is lower.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the goal there. And you don't have to worry about what else is in it,
Which
it's like
awesome.
the caffeinated LaCroix.
There you go. Okay. And you'll just mix it with water, right? Or anything, I guess?
Yeah, just mix it with water.
Awesome. And you guys sell that on your website, I would assume.
We do. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Sell it on the website, and it's 0 calories. So, it's very similar to really, like I said, it's like if someone doesn't like coffee, this is the kind of the closest thing you can get to get those same benefits of a healthy kind of natural pre-workout drink that doesn't taste like coffee if you're not into that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, anything else you can talk about that you want to bring up before we get off? Thank you so much for talking about building the brand with Caffeine and Kilos and how you guys do partnerships. I think it's always intimidating for people to get started if they've never done any type of partnership before, just because I think they're afraid to hear no, and no's okay. Like, just keep that relationship going and, just be mindful, follow up with people, right? Like, everyone is so busy that if you just keep in the forefront of people's minds, then that's a really good way to start building that relationship, which could turn into a partnership.
Absolutely. And that follow-up, that's the key. That's what I was going to say is that, a lot of times it's not the first time you reach out. It's not the second. And it's not, don't be annoying. Don't contact someone 10 times a day. But, you contact someone. If you haven't heard back, it's 24 hours later, contact. It's just like clients, following up with clients who aren't responding, right? You want to, it's not always that they're not replying because they don't want to do it. Just people have things going on and people are busy. And there's a handful of people at other companies that I have a very good relationship with. But I just know I'm okay. Well, on the second email, she's going to get back to me.
Yeah.
It's like you send one, wait like 3 days, and then just send another one. Like, any update on this? And then you'll get a response, right? Like, that's just kind of how it goes with that person. Yep. And so, don't be afraid. Make sure you follow up with people. And sometimes they say no. And then 2 years later, it comes back and ends up being something really good.
Absolutely. I think, just be flexible with your approach, and, if you're true to your values, then people will see that and they'll want to work with you.
Absolutely. And I think that everybody should run a nutrition program at their gym, and not only a nutrition program, but one where they get coaching on how to run this nutrition program, and someone walks them through how to do it and helps them be successful in that program.
Absolutely. The nutrition is the foundation of the fitness pyramid, yet every single gym owner that I talk to doesn't make it the foundation of what they talk with their clients because they're just unsure of how to get started, or they're not confident in the nutrition support that they can provide because they're experts in coaching and movement, not experts in nutrition, right?
Yeah, that's it. But everyone also knows that you can work out every day, and if you eat like garbage, you're going to get mediocre results. But
Absolutely.
if you work out twice a week and you have a nice clean diet, you're going to get great results.
100%. And it starts with the owner, right? Practice what you preach. I'm sure you guys are eating healthy, instilling healthy habits in your kids, and same thing with us. And, if you lead by example and really just make it simple, right? I mean, I think with any brand, anything that you're doing in your business, you want to keep it as simple as possible, because if you confuse, you lose.
Oh, Donald Miller.
There you go. Story brand.
That's it. You're absolutely right.
Awesome. Well, Danny, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I am so excited to have our co-branded coffee starting to go out in welcome boxes. We're going to have it at the live workshop and live events that we do as well, just
Awesome.
so that people can try it. And, maybe one day we'll do some type of special release, and other people who are not signing up for HSN can get it too.
That's it. The executive blend coming at you.
Yeah. Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Nicole. All
Bye.
right. Thanks, Nicole. Bye.
Danny is a plethora of knowledge, and we are so excited to release our new co-branded coffee. Before sending out partnerships, you really need to dial in your systems to run an effective nutrition program, to ensure an amazing client experience and that you can handle an influx of clients. If you are thinking, I don't know where to start, or I don't have the time to reinvent the wheel, we are hosting a free webinar for gym owners and nutrition coaches this Thursday, February 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you need to do is register with the link below. Hope to see you there.